Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria. This is my BronyCon 2019 video for day one. Roar! And this is BronyCon 2019. So we'll just get that going. Yeah, this is my raw, unedited footage, and there's probably a couple files in there that'll probably should just delete. But so this will give you an idea of what BronyCon is like, and which is crowded, very crowded. It's like I should have expected this, but you know what? There's actually people here. I think everyone has underestimated the number of people that are here, and this con is basically no fun anymore. There's nothing but lines and just waiting, and there's this possibility of now you may not even get into this panel at all. So yeah, it's like if there's a panel you really want to go to, make sure you get there early, especially if it's one of the major ones. If it's one of the, minor, call it minor panels, the ones that, maybe most people may not care about, then you probably could just walk in. But like the big ones, especially the ones with the voice actors, those are going to be tough. So all of a sudden, this con just isn't any fun. It's definitely taken the wind out of my sails. It's definitely how I feel about this. And so I bought a picture of, I was going to say Celestia, Luna and Twilight sailing a boat. So, yay! The best thing I like about this picture is that at first glance, it just looks like, oh, a boat. Oh, wait a minute. There's ponies! So I like that. So, yeah. I think I almost want to talk about a little about day 0, the previous day, the day I got here, pre-registration. I think I'll talk about that more later, but yeah, because it was definitely a journey getting here, is the long story short. But yeah, the thing that I will mention from day 0 was that there was so many people at the pre-registration pickup, which I've been doing this. I've done this 5 times. There's like never been lines, or maybe there'll be a couple people ahead of you, but there's never been lines on the day before. But it sounds like everybody pre-registered, so everybody came and picked it up. So it was more like So like the kind of lines you probably would have gotten on the first day, you got on the previous day, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I overheard when the con staff say, oh, those sponsors can just go over that line over there, because oh my gosh, I think some people were in that line for like 3 hours. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just horrible. It's just, oh. Fortunately, I'm so glad that I decided to get a sponsor badge, because oh my gosh, it's like that line was like 30 minutes, so it wasn't that big of a deal, so I'm not going to complain, but man, yeah. So yeah, things did not start off well for me. I got here late, and then oh my gosh, and then I actually lost my badge, but fortunately somebody picked it up and gave it to the security, and they told me, oh, it's at, they have it and stuff, and so that worked out very well. It's like, thank you. That would have been, it's like, no, I have to go back into the lines, but fortunately that worked out, so. So, yeah, I almost in a way don't need to even look at this list because I pretty much ignored it. Or it's like, yeah, because oh, I am so glad that the first event didn't start until 12 p.m. Let's just say I needed that late. I needed to be able to sleep in and just chill and stuff because, oh my gosh, I was already exhausted and tired before I even got here because, let's just say a lot of things happened all at once. I have been unwisely staying up late, and I spent a lot of time on my costume and various components and stuff. So yeah, it's been a non-stop slam the throttle forward up until now. So I'm just like, no. So yeah, so I definitely appreciated being able to not have to worry about anything until about 12 p.m. Then I was going to go to the YouTube Ponies panel, but then the line, it's like, my gosh, it's like, yeah, here, it's like, I'm just like, there's just so many people here, which is good in that there's so many people that were able to come, but it's also a bummer because it means that now there's, they've actually have people at the front of the halls counting how many people are in there, so that, because they have to cap the rooms, It hasn't been like this, I think, since 2014, when there were probably just as many people here. So, yeah, I mean, the con has been empty by comparison, so it's been a shock readjusting to everything, because, yeah, it's like, really, the short answer is, if you really want to go to a panel, you have to get there early, which makes it difficult, because, yeah, So yeah, it's like I saw the the YouTube ponies line, which went like practically all the way from the Hall of the Sun, which was to from the other end of the con, and ended probably about where we are now. So yeah, it's like I being a sponsor, I could actually go in first, but it's like, why do I want to take up a seat when there's a whole bunch of people who really, really want to go? Yeah, most of these panels are, oh, that sounds interesting, I'll go to that. But now it's going to be like, if I really want to go to this, I have to get there early, because otherwise I may not get in at all. So, yeah. So I think at that point, the wind was definitely taken out of my sails, and it's like, I don't really want to go to any of these panels now, because it's going to be a fight to get in. So, yeah, so I decided, and I did start off wearing my costume and all my stuff, and... But then, yeah, after that, it's like, no, I think what I want to do now is I'm just going to do this footage and do my walkthrough video and just walk around the con, because the layout is completely different from last year's, which I'm really disappointed me, because I really like that format. In fact, they're not even using level 400. Because somebody told me there's actually another con going on, and or maybe they're setting up for that con in the future. So, so that definitely changes things. This is the first year I've been here where they did not use room 400 for something. And it's weird. On the one hand, it feels like things are more closer together, because obviously that whole area is basically not being used. In fact, there's a sign somewhere over there where it's like, oh, turn around, the con, no con here, turn around, which I don't know if they meant to put that sign there or not, but I don't know if people were ignoring it or not. But yeah, it's like that whole area, that second like building area, almost in a way, is not really being used for anything. So so yeah, everything is kind of compressed, which, considering how many people here, is not a good thing. I think it's the short answer, which could be contributing to the problems. So yeah, it's like the main hall. It's like I only got to almost see it right now. You know, we're trying to get to the opening ceremonies. It was pretty much closed off for most of the day, and the marketplace is actually on the Hall C, where the main hall used to be. And so yeah, everything's been changed around almost back to the way that it was in 2014, which I'm not sure was a good move or not, but so yeah, I did not go to the Don't Forget the Lyrics, which would have been fun too, but I think, yeah, at that point I'm just walking around recording stuff. That I tried to get to the marketplace, because being a sponsor, according to an email that I got and everything else, that you could get in as a sponsor 30 minutes early, which means the marketplace actually opened at 2:30, but, you know, being a sponsor, should have in theory been able to get it to 2 p.m. That did not happen, and things only happened at 2:30, and then so yeah, I got there at, you know, before, like, probably I think like 1:45 or so, expecting, oh, they're gonna let the sponsors in. That did not happen, and that did not make me happy. Because it's like, oh man, that line basically filled, I think it's the Charles Street lobby. Oh my gosh, it's like it went, you know, across the room, up the stairs, around the level, and that was just to get into the marketplace. And there were practically 2 lines the same length, both for the sponsors and the regular people. And once you get into the marketplace, it's just jammed packed. Just getting by people is sometimes very difficult. Yeah, some of the lanes, I don't know if that's what you want to call them or not, were very narrow, and just getting, it's like, it was time, like, just getting out of here is hard. It's just, I mean, there's just so cool news. The good news is there's just so much cool stuff. There really is. There's so much stuff there. It's just a shame that, oh, it feels like you just got to fight. It's like, it kind of reminds me of like the wave pool sometimes at these big water parks, is that there's this big huge line to get in, and they can only let certain number of people in, and at that point they gotta stop, and then so they can only let somebody in when somebody gets out. So that's a problem. It's like, so definitely, it's like, I don't want to get out at that point. It's like, once I'm in, I don't want to get out of that. But yeah, I do feel kind of bad, because somebody said, oh, I'll meet you in there, but it was starting to get kind of late, and I wanted to set up for the the panel that I actually was, remember, it's the art of audio dramas and radio plays. So yeah, I decided to leave. And I basically purchased the only thing that I really wanted at the time, and oh, I also have to say is like there's so many of those body pillows. They're like everywhere. It's kind of creepy. It's like no. It's like no. It's like Your Highness. Why, Your Highness? Why? It's like must not think evil thoughts. Must not think evil thoughts. Oh dear, oh dear. But was cool. I did get to talk to Peruser of Pieces, the plushie maker who made this plushie, and I was pleased to see that he made a number of ponies, including Luna's and Celestia's, and in these beanie formats as well, and they all sold out by the time that I was there. So by the time I left, they were gone. So yay! So that's good. That makes me happy. It's like Celestia gets no love. I'm glad that somebody actually wanted her. So yay! So anyway, so yes. So yeah, so after that, yeah, so I do feel bad about leaving without really talking to that person, but it's just like, oh. Decided to just go back to my hotel room, chill a little bit, put on my costume, because yeah, I did want to go to the Remembrance, and I thought that person would be there, but unfortunately I realized that I once again overbooked myself. It's like, oh, I had to get to the opening ceremonies at 6 p.m., but unfortunately that panel ends at 6 p.m., so unless I'm Twilight and I could teleport myself across the con. But in the end, I don't think that mattered anyway. But more on that later. So anyway, yeah, so remember, it's the art of audio dramas and radio plays. It's like, that was kind of interesting. I mean, let's just say as a final Blue Star project, I might attempt to do something. That's why I thought that might be interesting to learn the process of doing that. And it was kind of interesting. And there's parts of me that feel like, I might know most of this already, but at the same time, I don't. But yeah, there was definitely some interesting and useful things of that. And another interesting thing is that I did not see any cameras from the con staff, which really concerns me, because that's okay. It's like sometimes I feel like, oh, I bring my camera around. It's like, oh, why bother? It's like, oh, the con staff recorded. It may take months and months and months, but they'll put it up on YouTube eventually. I don't think that's going to happen this time, or at least not for that panel anyway, which makes me sad. So that really makes me concerned that my camera footage might be the only footage of that panel, which, ugh. So, ooh. But anyway, but overall, I did enjoy that panel. One thing I really did enjoy was that she's describing about, oh, now that you've made this cool thing, now you got to let people know that it exists. It's like, one of the things was message reactors. Yay! She had a lot of positive things to say about reactors, and I think it's like basically, oh, reactors are actually good for the, for content creators because basically, to actually see somebody watching your work for the first time is actually very useful. Because personally, I feel like, yeah, you can see where are they excited, where are they interested, where are they bored, where are they engaged, where are they not engaged. What was their reaction to when they saw that? Did they enjoy it? Did they like it? Or did they like, it's stuff that I think that's useful. So I like that. Yay! I almost wanted to go up to her, sir. I would react to your kind of stuff, but I basically made this promise that I don't react to fan works because some people who do fan works issue copyright strikes. And ironic, as I tell a lot of people, it's like reacting to fan works is more dangerous than reacting to a show commissioned by an international toy corporation. Because Hasbro may block the video, but generally they don't issue copyright strikes. So, so yeah. Although one thing that was really cool, it's like I'm basically trying to pack up my camera and all my stuff because like I'm trying to rush up to the opening ceremony. And some guy asked me, hey, is there water back there? And I look up and I realize it's Ratchetus. Ratchetus. It's like Ratchetus was I think the very first reactor of any kind that I ever watched, and he kind of got me into reacting, so that was cool. I mean, we ended up talking more about my camera, because he was like, oh, what kind of camera is that? It's like, oh, that's cool. I did mention to him that I was like, oh, you were the first reactor I've ever seen. It's like, oh, well, thank you. And so that was cool. That was unexpected. It's like sometimes it just works out that way. Sometimes you try to go and actually find people, and then a random person will just come and just stumble upon them. That might be the one good side of basically everybody basically being in this one building in this one area, that it's in a way is a lot easier to run into people because yeah, when you have to basically, if that person could be in any one of two separate buildings, it's a little bit harder to find them. But yeah, so, and I did manage to run into at least into a couple of my fans actually and chat with them a little bit. Oh yes, and I'm very sorry that I did not, meet you at the end of the opening ceremonies, because I'll be getting that into a minute. So yeah, we're gonna have to discuss what we want to do about that, because I did not get into the opening ceremonies, because yeah, basically, yeah, I get there and they're basically saying no, the opening ceremony is closed. It's like, no, the only way to watch it is to watch it on live stream on Twitch, and I'm like, what? Oh, it's like I'm surprised with that. I mean, the main hall should in theory be the biggest room. It's like it was actually completely closed off. They basically closed the doors to it and stuff. So although I stuck around the side, and I've noticed that yeah, there's actually one wall that doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling, and you can just see the lights and the stuff going on the other side. It's like I know exactly how Sunset Shimmer feels in Sunset Shimmer's backstage pass, where it's like she can see the performance, but she can hear the performance, but she can't actually see it and really enjoy it. I know how that feels. So yeah, so unfortunately, I rushed back up to my hotel room, go onto my laptop, and basically do what, as I said, one guy in the elevator who wanted to take my picture, but it's like, sorry, I gotta go and do this reaction. That it's like, I'm gonna do what all reactors do. I'm gonna go and react to it. So I set up my camera very hastily. My rig fell apart a couple times. It was just a train wreck. So yeah, I'm gonna go eventually. I'll edit that together. I obviously can't do it here because I really don't have the time nor the processing power to do so. And frankly, that reaction really wasn't that good anyway. Because yeah, I'm kind of half ticked off, and it's like being reminded why I don't go to the opening ceremonies to begin with, because okay, there'll be a few fun things like, oh, they'll have a performance by so and so, they'll do this, they'll do that, but overall it's really not worth going to for the most part, or at least that's how I feel anyway. I know I said that eons ago, and sometimes yeah, there'll be somebody will come out and do an awesome surprise, but yeah, mostly it's just about policy, security stuff, drink fluids and stuff, and stuff I've already heard. And I do have to say, there are some pretty cool surprises that happen at the opening ceremony, but unfortunately, I caught probably the last 10, 15, 20 minutes or so of it, and nothing really truly exciting happened at that point. And so yeah, so I'm really sorry that I didn't. So I'm really sorry, fans, that I did not set up for that photo, which I really wanted to take. And yeah, this makes the closing ceremonies also difficult, because the same thing will probably happen. I even overheard people talking to one of the con staff. It's like, well, you going to do something about this? Because, some of us have, I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, in my case, totally. It's like I actually booked an extra night at my hotel so I could stay for the closing ceremony, because this is the last BronyCon. I'm not going to skip the closing ceremony like I usually do. But I drive here, but I'm 5.5 hours away. So it ends at like 5 o'clock. So even if I snap my fingers, I get in the car and I just drive, that's, I'm going to get home late, and I'm not going to be happy about it. And it'll probably be much later than that. So no. So I'm going to stay the extra night. So now that may not matter at all. I may be running up here to my hotel room and reacting to it up here, which might not be such a bad idea, to be honest. So, that doesn't make me happy, and, I mean, unfortunately, nothing about this BronyCon is unfortunately making me happy right now. It's just a mess. It's like, I think nobody was prepared for the amount of people that were gonna be here, which, again, I shouldn't have been surprised, but I totally am. It's like, my God, there's just so many people here. It's just, yeah. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but this con is no fun for me right now. It's just, it starts to remind me why I liked PonyCon, because it was a much smaller con. You didn't really have to worry about getting into panels. You could just go and go as you please. You could actually practically walk up to the guests, including the voice actors, and maybe talk to them and stuff. You had a much more closer feeling. Here, it just feels like I don't even know. I didn't even get to see the main hall this time. It's like, where's the main hall? It's basically behind closed doors this time. So I'm, oh dear. So yeah. So overall, I'm honestly not happy. So yeah, but well, we'll just have to simply adjust a little bit and realize that, you know, if there's if a panel you really have to want to go to, you have to get there early. Although there's no way that I'm going to avoid. There's no way I'm not going to go to the Grand Galpin Gal. I'm definitely using my sponsor badge on that one, pulling rank on that one. Definitely going to make sure that I get there early, because there's no way I'm missing that. If there's one thing that I'm going to do during this convention, it's definitely go to the Grand Galpin Gal, because that's going to be awesome, because it always is. Roar! So, oh dear. So, yeah, so now with the photo, first of all, it's almost like, is it even, do people want to do that? If people are like, I don't really care, it's like, I don't really care about that, then we'll just forget it. But if people really, really, really want me to do that, because I do want to do that, because again, this will probably be the last opportunity to do something like that. You know, we have to pick a time, a place. I think almost the main convention area was at the Charles Street lobby, might actually be the best place to go. Or, I don't know, or something. I don't know. Or there, I mean, again, or there could be, there's a couple of places. I mean, it depends. Do we want a place that we're all going to know and we're all going to meet, or do we want to try to find a place a little out of the way? I think, I'm thinking about it, there's like a garden terrace, whatever. There's a garden up on the second floor. No, it's the third floor, excuse me. That most people don't usually go. There's not a lot of people there. It's like, I actually had lunch there because it was like the only place that felt kind of quieted out of the way, but yet wasn't, you know, on like the edges of the con. So so that might actually be the place to meet, is like to meet at that garden and take the photo there. So yeah, it's like, I'm definitely gonna have to I guess we'll have to work that out, or we could stay to the closing ceremonies and we'll meet outside the convention the center somewhere. Ugh, the brain is still malfunctioning, I'm afraid, sorry. So, dear, oh dear. So yeah, so the short answer is that if we're going to do that, we're going to have to work something out, because unfortunately it sounds like, once again, plans have gone into complete disarray, but as the old saying goes, it's like no plan survives contact with the enemy. But yeah, so yeah, I do feel bad that it didn't work out. I feel like I should have stayed there and, you know, I'll just wait for everybody to come out. But I felt like, you know what, it might be better for me to try to do that reaction. I don't know if that was the right move or not, but so anyway, but still, the good news is I have been meeting my fans, I've been doing some fun things, and I can finally say that my caster has finally made it to BronyCon, so, roar! And I do have to say, it's like, who says orange tips have to be boring? So, so yay! So, so that's good. It's like, yes. I'm glad that A, I was able to get into the convention center with that, and B, that the cleaning people didn't freak out when they saw it propped up against the wall. Oh dear. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, the good news is it isn't all bad news, and I did enjoy that one panel that I went to. It was kind of fun walking around the vendor hall. But yes, things are definitely very different this year. It's sadly not in a good way, and so this definitely, I think, so this definitely ends my BronyCon day one. But now I want to talk. So now I want to talk a little bit about BronyCon day 0, because there were a couple fun things that happened. Because yeah, it's like it was definitely a journey getting here. Because yeah, I was doing so much stuff with my costume and my props and a whole bunch of stuff, and a lot of stuff happened all at once that it was just like, ugh. Let's just say there were issues with work as well. So yeah, it was definitely, just getting here was tough. And, you know, I got here way late because I waited way too long to pack up my stuff, or I should have packed that up first and then could have packed up that first. It was just a disaster. It did not work out very well. So yeah, and there was a big, huge storm, you know, during all that too. So it's like, that wasn't fun. But the good news is that, yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, I was listening to one of the I don't know. the Shake Ups and Ponyville songs, and they were talking. It was actually Power Pony Up. We were talking about the Power Ponies, and there was like, was it Matterhorn shoots beams of energy, and it's like at that very moment, it's like I could swear at that moment, a lightning bolt was off in the distance, which I thought was amusing, and yes, and I was listening to a lot of the MOP songs in the car, and it was like, was it? Well, apples to the cores, like, and you know, it's like we will brave the weather, da 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 da. It's like, and it's almost like as that song was playing, I could see that things are starting to clear up in the future. So I liked that. I thought, oh, the symbolism or something about that. I thought that was somehow appropriate. I like that. And yeah, definitely it was like, yeah, it's like I had to drive through this big, huge storm, and then eventually things started clearing up, and I thought that, oh, things are good now. It's like, okay, I've gotten through all the storm of all the things that I had to do before the con. Now I can just drive and go to the con. I kind of like that, so... Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's like, and there was one really funny side when I was driving. It's like, who are you gonna call? And it flips over to the next message. No one! You're driving! I thought that was amusing. That was great. That was someone at the Transit Authority has a sense of humor. I like it. So yeah, and again, yeah, definitely. There was just a massive line on day zero. It just, oh my gosh, it was awful. It was way more awful for everybody else because yeah, I was fortunate I had the sponsor line, which wasn't so bad. But yeah, so yeah, overall, not a positive experience with BronyCon 2019 so far. But yeah, but I do kind of like what they put in the to the BronyCon guidebook, if you will. Parts of it, I think I will read this another time, I think. But I do like the overall message of it, which is basically, yeah, it's hard, but there's going to be, yeah, it's going to be challenging, but there's new challenges, and what are we going to do next? And, you know, the memories that we made here will live on, and it'll be great. And my favorite line is at the very end, now go out there and enjoy the best weekend of the year! Roar! I like that. It's like, you know, after all this doom and gloom, go out there and enjoy it. And definitely right attitude. So, yeah, so I'm going to definitely try to enjoy the rest of the BronyCon, and just, it's time to adjust a few things. But I think overall it'll be fun. It's like, definitely, oh yeah, I forgot, tomorrow's Friday. It's like the Grand Galloping Gala. Yay! Normally it's on Saturday. It's like basically the day before the con, ends, but now it's the day before the con ends, so it's gonna be kind of weird, but it'll be definitely something to look forward to. So roar! So if you're here, I hope you enjoy BronyCon, and hopefully I get to meet you. And one way or another, I hope you enjoy the rest of your BronyCon. So roar! So until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.